Hello students. So from today onwards we'll be starting with our new topic, or we can say part 2 of our subject, that is design of structures. Our whole subject is divided into two portions, that is design of structures in RCC and design of structures in steel. We have completed beam portion, that is beam portion comprised of four elements, that was design of singly reinforced beams, design of doubly reinforced beams, design of flange beams, or you can say T-beams, and development length and shear reinforcement. So RCC beam design has been completed, and now we'll be moving towards steel construction. And in today's lecture we will be seeing brief about what is steel construction, how it can be constructed, and we will be dealing with the entire theory portion that is being included in our second part, that is steel construction. So today's lecture is very important regarding the theory portion. We will see basic definitions, we will see basic theories, and what all we will be discussing in our steel content. Clear? So moving towards first thing, that is what is construction or what is steel construction. The first thing here is, what do you mean by steel construction? So as you can say that the steel constructions are assembly of structural steel. This is an important term to be looked upon. Structural steel that shapes joined together by means of either by rivets, either by bolted connections or by welded connections. Now first we will look upon what is a structural steel and how it differs from normal steel. Normal steel, that means you have been seeing in the day-to-day life everything that is around you pertaining to steel or an alloy of steel or something like that. And structural steel is basically a high ductile and high strength steel that is used to construct a building or to construct a structure. Yeah, that is called a structural steel. It has very specified constituents and material properties. As you have seen steel tables, but till now in steel tables you have seen only one page, that is page number 72 of your steel table. And from now, that means while doing our steel portion, the entire steel table book will be important to us. There we have specified, or there it has been specified, many shapes and sizes that we will be using in steel structures. So that is what is structural steel. Now moving on to these three portions, that is riveted, bolted and connections. In structural steel, or we can say design of structures steel portion, our first chapter will be connections. Okay, so how to connect a steel component or how to connect the steel with another steel. As we can see that concrete is a homogeneous or monolithic structure. That means while pouring concrete, you just need to pour it and it will fill due to its workability that you have seen in your subject concrete technology. But steel being a solid material, it has to be joined. So how we can join or how we can connect, we can use three methods. That is, the first one is riveting, the second one is by using bolts, or the third one is by using welding. In our syllabus, riveting is not in our portion. So we will be dealing with these two things, that is either bolting and welding. So what do you mean by exactly a bolted connection and a welded connection? So as you can see in the figure, this left hand side figure is for bolted connection and this right hand side figure is for welded connection. Here you can see that in bolted connections, bolts are being provided, but these bolts are not normal bolts that you used in your day-to-day life. These are structural bolts specifically designed to connect structural steel. We will discuss that in the next lecture, that we will be starting with bolted connections. And in the right side figure you can see welded connections. That means the two plates are connected using welding. Clear? So next will be the sections that are available to us. Which all sections we will be looking upon. So as you can see, these are called hot roll sections. While using our IS code also, now we will be using our IS 800 2007 from the next lecture onwards. There also you can see the two things are mentioned. First is hot roll section and the second will be cold form sections. Hot roll sections, as the name suggests, they are being constructed by heating up the material. They are being given the shape by heating up the material, and in cold form steels or cold form materials, the heat is not being provided, and just by providing the cold nature, that is during the negative temperatures, it has been bifurcated. So as you can see in the figure, there are various sizes and shapes available. The first one being a square or rectangular solid section, the second being circular solid section, the third being a hollow tube section. This one here is channel section. Clear? Now we will be going through the technicalities or technical terms. This one is the channel section that we will be using. Channel means C shape. This is our I or H section. It is called I section or H section that we will be using regularly in our whole steel portion. This is a box section. This is an angle section, or you can say L section. This is the same angle section or L section. And this is a flat plate. A flat plate, that means a rectangular solid plate. Okay, so these all structures we will be dealing with. As and when the structures, or as and when we will be looking upon these sections, we will go through in detail regarding this. Now, basically, as compared to concrete structures, these structures are somewhat easier to construct, but it requires some special treatment for it. Why so? Because as we know that concrete is a monolithic construction, it can be casted easily, but for constructing a steel structure, that is like, as you can see here, very specialized techniques are being used to properly connect and to transfer load from our structural elements to other structural elements. That means to transfer load from beam to column, also proper bonding should be followed, proper amount of connections should be followed, so that it transfers load quickly and smoothly. So the design is somewhat more important than as compared to concrete. In RCC structure, basically we don't deal with these connection portions, because these are, as being monolithic structures, the load will be directly transferred. We just need to provide the correct amount of reinforcements in that. But in steel structures, we need to identify the section also, whether to use I section, whether to use C section, etc. And also the size of section is being important, that which sections we will be using. Then this will be the beam column connections that I was talking about. Various beam column connections are being used, and these are the various types that we will be dealing with. It will be used to connect our beam to the column portion. Then, as you can see here, this is a typical steel structure or actual steel structure that you can see in this figure, that is cast practically. And now we will be going through some features about steel construction, that what are the features of steel structure, why it is being preferred. The first one is freedom of expression. That means it can be constructed in any form or any amount or any size. There is no restriction regarding this. As you can see here, the shapes are given as you can like it. So the RCC has a fixed frame structure, that you need to compulsory provide orthogonal shapes or some inclined shapes. But regarding steel, there is no rigidity regarding this. It is flexible in nature. You can provide any shape or size you want. And the second thing is creativity. That means you can think creative and use your imagination to form any shape you want, and it can be made into life. Third is easy extension. Now if we need to extend our building or increase the amount of floors, for RCC structure it will be difficult, because as the self weight of the structure is more important. So regarding the expansion, either it be vertical or either it be horizontal, it will be difficult regarding RCC, because the proper bonding will also be not generated if we need to expand it. But in this steel portion, it is free or easy to expand, as steel are connected externally. Okay. Next will be easy fixing of the facade. In normal constructions, you always see that high-rise buildings are constructed and they are being provided facades for aesthetic purposes. So for providing these facades also, it is easier to construct in steel structure than to construct a facade in RCC structure. Then it is the most important feature, that is it has long span. That means to construct long span intervals, RCC is not preferred. RCC, for constructing long span, you compulsory need to provide a column in between for a certain amount of length. For example, a simply supported beam can rest up to maximum of 10 to 15 meters length. Beyond that, you compulsory need to provide a column or between, or an intermediate column in between, else it will bend and fail. But regarding, if we talk about steel structures does not require this property, and thereby clear span can be provided as you like. So for example, you can see that various stadiums or various multiplexes or various auditoriums where the clear span is to be maximized, there you see that the steel structures is been preferred compared to RCC structures. Then the columns here are slender and therefore more space can be occurred. Now what do you mean by slender columns? Slender columns mean long column. As you can see here, the height of the column is very huge, which is not possible in RCC structure or RCC construction. So for providing clear height, the last we think was clear span, and here is clear height. To provide clear height also, or to increase clear height also, we prefer steel structures as compared to RCC structures. Then it can be made transparent. That means for greenhouse effects, if you need greenhouse effects or if you need energy efficient building, then transparency or to provide sunlight or to increase the amount of sunlight, also steel structures are preferred because by creating the ceiling portion in RCC it will be completely solid, whereas in this steel construction arches can be formed, trusses can be formed, and then the proper roofing material or proper transparent roofing material can be provided to get something like this or something visual like this. Next, it is weather independent construction. That means if you heard in concrete technology subject or you will be looking in the concrete technology subject, that concrete generates heat of hydration. So while the casting of concrete, proper amount of water content is to be measured and to be indulged so that it balances the heat of hydration. Clear? So it is more beneficial in that respect. Now we'll be looking at some of the merits of steel construction, that why steel construction is to be used or why you need to opt for steel construction. The first thing here is that it is reliable in character. That means the steel has unique property or a homogeneous property which is not formed in RCC. RCC, as you all know, that it is either a in situ, or that means site made material or factory made material, but it has mixture of various components. That means it has a mixture of sand, cement, aggregate, and to control the amount or the control the quality of this is not in our hands. It is dependent upon the locality, that what amount of sand you get or which quality of sand you get, which quality of aggregate you get. So it is the location based product, whereas steel is purely fabricated in factories. That means the homogeneity is much more, or uniqueness is much more higher in steel as compared to RCC. Yeah? So it is much more reliable in character because its quality can be controlled in factory made shapes. Also the shapes that are being formed, as we have seen earlier, that C shape, I shape, etc. can be perfectly made in factory, which is not being acquired in the RCC part. The second is industrial in behavior. That means it has less manual and error as members are fabricated and cut. As I have already discussed, this is a factory made product, and so it has less errors regarding the dimensions, regarding the shapes, etc. And we don't get much variations in this behavior of the properties. The third is it is quicker in construction. As you all know that RCC, after settling down or after pouring RCC, it needs at least 28 days to settle down and to harden itself, whereas steel doesn't need to be hardened itself, and therefore the construction process can be quicker as compared to RCC. The third is high strength and lightweight. This is the most important thing why steel structures are being preferred, because it has high strength as compared to RCC, and the second is it is less self-weight. It contains less weight, means the self-weight of the structure is less in RCC structure. So even if you see many high-rise structures, for example, if you take the example of Burj Khalifa, it is a composite structure. That means some part of the bottom part of the structure is made up of RCC elements and the top rest part is made up of steel elements. So if you need to go more high-rise or you need to go skyscraper, then you need to compulsory follow steel buildings constructions. Else RCC construction is not preferred, because as you go up or as you increase the height of the building, the cross-section area must be increased, or it directly increases the cross-sectional area. That means the B and D, as we have discussed, the width and depth increases, and if it increases tremendously, then the amount of space occupied on the land that a column can cover will be much more as compared to steel. So to reduce this consumption and to increase the strength, RCC is not preferred and steel is being preferred. Next is elasticity. As we all know that steel follows Hooke's law, that is stress is directly proportional to strain. So it is much more elastic and can be transformed into various shapes also, that is not possible in RCC structures. Then ductility and warning before failure. This is the most important criteria. As you know, in RCC that two materials are being used, concrete and steel. Concrete is a brittle material, whereas steel is a ductile material. So if concrete fails earlier than steel, then it will be a sudden collapse. So the structure cannot be controlled. But whereas if you cast the building entirely of steel, it will be a ductile failure. So the control of structure or the control of collapse can be made in this case. Next, it has long span construction, as we have discussed, but the thing is to note these dimensions. These dimensions you can pause and write down also, that industrial buildings up to a span of 90 meter can be designed by plate girders or trusses. Girders you will be seeing in the next semesters, trusses will be looking in this semester. Bridge span up to 260 meter are made with these plate girders. For through truss bridges span of up to 300 meters have been used in the recent scenarios. So these are the basic dimensions that you need to note down. Now we're looking upon the demerits of steel construction. The first demerit is high maintenance cost and corrosion. As you all know, the steel is much more costlier than the concrete portion, and it is also susceptible to corrosion. That means to avoid corrosion, various sprays or various chemicals are being used, which are also very expensive in nature. The second is high fireproofing cost. And as the fireproofing is must, because steel melts and steel melts at high temperature, that is about 400 degrees temperature, creep becomes much more pronounced in steel structures, and for that you need fireproofing materials or fireproofing agents to be kept alongside with steel construction, which increases the initial cost. Third, it will be susceptible to buckling. As you can see in example here, the beam buckles itself, and therefore the failure can be somewhat different as compared to RCC structures. So due to this buckling also, somewhat amount of steel is being removed or other loading criteria are being checked. The next is high initial cost and less availability. That means, as I have discussed, initial costs are very high as compared to RCC structures, and also the locally made materials will be used, which differs the quality of the material. Then these are the basic examples of how steel structures will look. You can see here, this is the casting of the steel sections that are discussed. This is the I section that is being casted upon. Next is the column beam joint that we have seen previously. This is the actual diagram. Here you can see that the bolts are being provided. So this, how much amounts of bolts to be provided, where to be provided, that will be our first chapter, which will be starting from the next lecture. So this is just a basic practical knowledge about how or what we will be doing in the next lecture. We will be designing these bolts, that which grade of bolts are to be used, how many bolts are to be used, and where to be used, or at what distances these bolts are to be placed. As you can see, these are placed equidistant between each other. So at what distance these are to be placed, we will be looking in the next lecture. Or basic differences. Here you can see that 6 bolts are being used, and here you can see the 3 bolts are used. So why 3, why 6, what loads are to be considered, that we will be looking from the next lecture onwards. This is also the next example of beam column joint, that how these beam column joint are made practically, and how to use them or how to construct them and design them. So this was the basic introduction of steel structures, or what are steel structures. From tomorrow onwards we will be starting with our first chapter, that is connections, and in that we will be starting with bolted connections. So keep IS 800 with you from tomorrow. We will be looking to it later on. Thank you.